Jim, where would I be without you, Jim? Where would I be without you? It's the best way to start a stream is by talking while your mic is on mute. Obviously, there's no other way to do it around here. That's how a couple of Burks operate. I am solo Burke tonight. I don't know where my dad is. He was supposed to be here. If any of you see him, tell him that he's missed. He's wanted. He's escaped the cage. Great start. I know. Best way to do it. Probably with 1K subs, probably. So let's have a look. Oi, smelly lefties. How you doing, Michael? How you doing, MZ? How you doing, Jim? It's good to see everyone. So we're here, and despite all of the technical difficulties, we somehow managed to pull a show off here enough. If you can hear some weird crunching in the background, I'm not like doing any graveling or anything, or like walking around. It's my dogs eating they're having their dinner. They've had a little extra, gave them some supper today because they were being particularly excited. And I thought the best way to keep them distracted while I do a stream is just feed them. Just give them extra food, make them fat and happy. Isn't that right, boys? Good boys. But yeah, how's everyone doing? I hope you're all well. So, Solo Birkin it tonight. We're going to be talking about what's happening in Iran. Obviously other stuff as well, but mostly just that. Yeah, I missed your debut in VC. Terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. I'm shocking. Nah. Do you know what, MZ? I will say, since you gave up your spanner, everything's gone to pot. So that's hello, Gamerlist. How you doing? Right. I think that's pretty much most of the gang in. Hope everyone's okay. Ooh, evening smack salad. How you doing, buddy? I think I owe you an email at some point. I'm really bad at that. There's a few people in the chat now that I should be emailing back. I just don't. I'm really sorry. I never check my emails until I'm like on a stream talking to someone. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got some emails to answer, and then I go away from here, completely forget about it till next stream. Hey, how you doing, Kimmy? Hope you're well. Is not just stuck in JO jail. Technically, he's always in JO jail. He's always in the cage, isn't he? We've always got him in there. So technically he always is, but no. For those of you that don't know, if you fall asleep or if you happen to be AFK while you're in the VC in my Discord, we will then take you over to jail and someone, probably MZ, will draw all over your face. That's just how that works. Don't fall asleep around us. So what else have we got going on in the chat there? Nothing much. Right, might as well crack on with it. I've got a few different articles and things to go through. I've written down some stuff that I wanted to get through, just because it's one of those things that, you know, as much as I can freeball a lot of stuff and talk about some things, I'd like to, you know, I spent a few hours making sure I put effort into it to talk about exactly what's going on and, you know, really make sure that we're all caught up as much as you can be. Also, disclaimer, I'm a Burke. I'm not an expert, just a Burke. Wow, it's called Living Art, JJ. But yeah, so anything you hear from now onwards is going to be my opinion. That's all this channel is, just my opinion, just the way I see things. Nothing here, you know, you should take it all with a pinch of salt. I'm not an expert, like I say. I'm just me doing my thing. Right. Yes, buddy. Yes, that was a good meal, and I'll let you out in a second. Good boy. So let's start with it then. So at the moment we are at day 4 of war between America, Israel, and Iran. The bodies are piling up, and already there's atrocities happening. So before we jump into the latest articles about what's been happening, we'll just go through a sort of quick recap of what's been happening, what got us here, and then we'll explain about maybe if we could figure out what's coming next, because it doesn't look like this is going to end anytime soon. But in January this year, Trump began mobilizing assets in the Middle East, ready for a war with Iran. He called it a massive armada. I don't know if anyone remembers that, which included multiple aircraft carriers and destroyers. And then in early February, a second round of nuclear negotiations began between the US and Iran. It took place between their officials at Muscat and Geneva, but unfortunately, it failed to produce an agreement that either side would accept. So we cut forward now to the 28th of February, and America and Israel have attacked Iran, marking the start of another illegal war in the Middle East. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, I hope I'm saying that right, was assassinated by America and Israel during the strikes on Sunday morning. And since that initial act of aggression, the commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, and Netanyahu have seen a lot of retaliation attacks from Iran to allied targets right across the region. I'm just reading it now. Up to 9 countries have been attacked as allied bases come under attack from missiles and drones. So far, that's Oman, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Jordan, Iraq, Israel, and Cyprus have all been attacked by Iran. So I'm going to come over now to ITV. We've got an article that we're going to listen to quickly, and we'll just spend a couple of minutes talking about this. It's not that one, it's this one.
The Middle East is now engulfed in a war of terrifying unpredictability. The Iranian response has been a series of drone strikes across the Gulf region.
Oh my God.
Hitting Bahrain and Kuwait. And iconic buildings in Dubai. In Bahrain, a majority Shiite country, residents cheered the Iranian counterstrike, speaking to the complexity of what has been unleashed. On the ground throughout Iran, the chaos caused by the bombing has been captured by residents filming on their phones.
Sorry, I did that thing again with the mic. But no, these are absolutely awful scenes. And it does get worse, unfortunately, trigger warning, because despite the boasting and the emphasis on accuracy, shall we say, by America and Israel, they haven't been that accurate. Or if they are, then it looks like they're deliberately targeting schools. Taking now over to here, we're going to share this tab instead. So Israel's strike hits school in Iran, 100 plus killed in a massive attack. It's absolutely horrendous. So President Trump has initially projected a 4 to 5 week campaign, but since already murdering the leader of Iran, he now acknowledges the reality and says that it could go on longer. No fucking shit. Israeli PM Netin Baby Killer Yahoo, that's how I've written it there, says that the war may take some time, but insists it will not be years. The framing goals around it is weakening Iran's regime, although I'm not too sure how doing this, murdering children, does that. But as of now, as of today, the strikes and counter-strikes continue. The Middle East is experiencing widespread atrocities, mass disasters. It's awful, isn't it? I don't even know where to start with this story. You know, I've got some notes and things written down, and I'm trying to sort of stick to it. But it is a bit difficult, this, isn't it? Because it's one big mess. So it's initially started off with the failure of the nuclear talks. Neither side could get their head around what the other side were asking for, and so both sides have now come to this. Donald Trump has sent airstrikers, what do they call them? The carriers and things like that, and destroyers and stuff. That was clear what was going to happen. I think we all knew then that this was going to be the case. And a lot of people have been saying that war with Iran is coming and has been coming for quite some time. But the way it's happened at the moment is just absolutely awful. As we're seeing there, schools are being targeted. There was 2 schools. Last I checked, I think it was 153 dead from the one school that was the all-girls school, the primary school that was struck by Israel in Iran. And it's absolutely fucking awful. What Epstein files, yeah. I mean, this is the thing as well, isn't it? At the moment, the free world seems to be, the UK are involved somewhat. Obviously, he's calling us uncooperative, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. But we're being pulled into one of those forever wars again, and possibly by who is a genuine adjudicated rapist and potentially fucking paedophile who's dragging us into this war now, and it's just fucking scary shit. It's awful. It's properly horrendous. Civilian casualties, infrastructure damage, regional instability are all escalating. The conflict is intensifying. There's no clear end game. Nothing's currently visible. The Iranian Red Cross Society has said that the death toll from the ongoing war in Iran has increased to 787 people. That was as of a couple of hours ago. I know that more strikes have happened since, so I don't know if that's fully true, but that's the latest that I got up to. At least 10 people have died in Israel and 6 American service members have been killed. Trump has been saying, now this is where it gets a bit fun, Trump has been saying that everything's been knocked out in Iran, and then he started taking really weird petty shots at the UK and Starmer. So the adjudicated rapist and potential paedophile Donald Grab 'em by the pussy Trump has been criticising the UK's initial response to illegal US-Israeli strikes on Iran, saying this is not Winston Churchill. So here we go. Is it this one? Right.
I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative with that stupid island that they have, that they gave away and took a 100-year lease, having to do with perhaps indigenous people claiming the island that never even saw the island before. What's that all about? And they ruin relationships.
Sorry, what is he even talking about? This guy is so weird. So he's taking shots at the UK and Starmer for initially, not really wanting to be involved at all in another illegal war in Iraq. I mix up my wars in the Middle East. Another illegal war in the Middle East, because we all remember what happened in Iraq, right? We all still remember that stuff. The UK has also, let's just have a look now, because it's not just Starmer that doesn't want to get involved. That's actually something that is, he shares in common with most British people. Strongly opposed, somewhat opposed. Not a lot of people actually support this. Not a lot of people want this to happen. The few that do are the usual suspects, obviously, the bloodthirsty far right. But yeah, it's not a war that anybody wants to see happen, and it's not a war that we want here. The UK has no appetite for it, and we don't want any more forever wars that keep happening in the Middle East. It's not on our menu. We don't want that shit. It's no good. It's a no good fuck. But Down the Street hasn't actually responded to Donald Trump saying those things about him. Instead, senior folk who spoke to Chris Mason of the BBC said that they are keen to be repeating the thrust of the argument that we heard from Keir Starmer in Parliament yesterday. It goes on to say, when he said that he was British Prime Minister acting in the British national interest with the sense of where the British public opinion is. And as we saw by that YouGov poll, substantially more people in Britain are opposed to America's military action than are in favour of it. We could see that very clearly. And that it makes a lot of sense, obviously. We remember the last illegal crusade that happened in the Middle East. It's fucking shocking. And he said as well about Spain, he also said that they're uncooperative like us, whatever that means. But yeah, when it comes to Trump, if you're being uncooperative, then that's a good thing. So W for Spain. But the US has gone on to warn of an imminent Iranian attack in the Saudi city of Bahrain, a major centre of the oil industry, it says here, where a US consulate is located. So I wonder now, with all the oil prices going up, but all the share prices dropping, is the oil that Trump hijacked from Maduro when he went and kidnapped him in Venezuela, is that, because he's now in charge of that, is that now worth more or less than it was before? I don't really know how that stuff works. I'm not really finding out much information about it either, other than that fuel prices are going to go up because oil prices are going up, but share prices are dropping. So I don't know how that balances out. But Israel is saying that it's carried out new attacks on Iran's leadership compound, which is a funny way of saying schools. It says, this was today as well, said it included the presidential office, with more attacks on Tehran announced later. That's going to be fucking awful. And the UK are going to send British helicopters and counter-drone capabilities and air defence destroyer HMS Dragon to Cyprus after attacks on a British base there, because there was attacks on the British base in Cyprus. Are we all going to be dragged into this? Do we have much of a choice? Is there, Iran is hitting all the US embassies. All of them. It's smashing as many as it can at the moment. And then the West get upset when radicalization takes place. Let me get back at that. We have watched Israel and Gaza for a year. We know that Netanyahu doesn't care for accuracy. I think he. I agree with him. I think they are an incredibly accurate army for when it comes to military strikes. They're very accurate, and they intend to hit schools. They've got a track record for it. Not only have they demolished 2 schools in Iran now, but they've demolished pretty much every single school that's ever existed in Iran. In Gaza. So they've got a history of this. They've got a track record for smashing schools and destroying shit. It's who they are and what they do. So yeah. Then in the West get upset when radicalization takes place. 11% just the YouTube auditors. Yeah, in that YouGov poll, it was mostly just YouTube auditors that were like, yeah, we're well in favour of this. They're bloodthirsty, aren't they? They love it when that authoritarian daddy of theirs fucking goes around dropping bombs. He's got the humour because he wants to use... He's got the humour because he wants to use the air base and the Chagos. Yeah, he's moaning about that hump. I see what you mean. Yeah, he's moaning about that because he was saying that, it took us hours and hours extra. We had to fly from one place to another and we couldn't use those islands, which makes sense with the timing of it. He got upset about those islands a little while ago and turns out he was planning on using them. Yeah, if your target is Chagos, you're on point. So let's have a quick gander. We've got a little bit more to dive into. It's a really in-depth story, isn't it? But I know because I've been vocal about it, not just here, but on my other social medias, on YouTube and everywhere else, doing posts, and obviously now I'm streaming about it. I'm very vocal in my opposition, not just to this war, but any war, legal or otherwise. Pardon me. But yeah, some people have assumed that I'm like some sort of fan of the Ayatollah, or that like I support his atrocities. Yeah, all the stuff that he committed during his premiership or dictatorship, whatever you call it. But it's not true. When I describe what happened as murder and as assassination, it's because it is murder and or assassination. That's exactly what it is. I'm just giving you the truth. Sometimes the truth offends people, particularly those orders that Michael was talking about before in chat. But yeah, it seems to really piss off those folks that are eager to cheer on mass violence when it's carried out by leaders that they like, which is exactly what's happening. But, I don't think I can be much clearer. It's an illegal war. I also believe that the regime in Iran has committed serious abuses, serious atrocities, and it should be held accountable. But I don't think that obliterating an entire country, devastating its people, and then dragging the entire region and potentially the world into another endless conflict isn't the way that you change things. That's not how any of that works. That's my stance on that. I honestly couldn't give a fuck that the Ayatollah is dead. I just don't think that illegal wars are the best way to help anyone. It doesn't ever help anyone. What are you doing? You can't steal his food. Low-key, you thief. Get on there. Oh, do you want to come on here instead? You done with it? Oh, there you go. You okay, Chunky? You good boy. Bless him. You alright? Okay? He's a good dog. So yeah, real change just, doesn't happen with bombs being dropped from the sky, does it? Chuffing pacifists coming around here and opposing war. It's what we do. It's what we do. You're dead right. I hate these people. The regime can be bad. We also know you can't bomb to democracy. The pathway to democracy isn't littered with bombs. That's not how that works. It's never worked like that. I don't think it's ever helped, ever. I don't think that more bombs equals more freedom. Like, real change has to come from within. It can't be imposed by just bombs dropping out of the sky. To people that do support those actions, I would ask if there's anyone that's watching that does support this. Like, what do you say to the families of the children that were killed in those schools? Like, there's no winners in this. Like, war, nobody wins war. There's no winners. Ordinary people pay the price. The world loses. And yeah, there just needs to be fewer sort of bloodthirsty individuals around, I think. Let's have a look now. I wanted to have a British MP. There you go, Zara Sultana. So I thought Zara Sultana had something worth listening to. She put this to Keir Starmer. My dad was a toolmaker. That dude. Bear with me.
US congressional staff were told on Sunday that Iran was not planning to strike American forces or bases unless Israel attacked Iran first. In other words, there was no intelligence indicating an imminent threat. Yet we have already seen preemptive strikes attacking a girls' school, killing over 100 children.
Right, listen to that now. Right, listen to that. A preemptive strike at an all-girls school. I can't think of anything anything like the opposite of military has to be an all-girls school. Surely, like that's the opposite of a military target. You couldn't be further removed from a military target than an all-girls school, can you? And I mean, any school, not obviously, it's no less or more sad because it's a girls' school. Children are children, obviously, but you get my meaning, though, don't you? You can understand where I'm going with this. This is just, and the Protect Our Women and Girls crowd are like, yeah, go on, Daddy Trump, keep bombing away. Meanwhile, over 100 children are dead. Fucking hell. It's insanity, isn't it?
This has been condemned by UNESCO as a grave violation of humanitarian law, yet the Prime Minister didn't bother to mention it. Continuing such actions is unlawful. Allowing them to take place from UK bases is unlawful. So I ask the Prime Minister, is the genocide of the Palestinian people not enough for this Labour government? Is he proud to be another Labour Prime Minister, obediently following Washington into yet another illegal war in the Middle East?
Yet another illegal war in the Middle East. God, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It really is unbelievable. I don't believe it's unbelievable. It's truly shocking. Who would have thought it would have got here? I mean, obviously, for a lot of people, I've spoken to a lot of folks, even my dad, everyone else were like, war with Iran is imminent. It's going to happen. It's the next Iraq. And lo and behold, here we are. I mean, I'm still surprised at the depths and depravity of humanity. There's no humans left in humanity anymore, boys. What do we do?
Making us all less safe. And finally, how much does he enjoy being Donald Trump's poodle?
Prime Minister.
Right, okay, so obviously he's been asked, why didn't you mention the school that's been bombed? Why are you, calling him Donald Trump's poodle and that? Let's see what his thought-out response is.
I've set out the decisions I made over the weekend and the reasons for them. My first duty is to protect British nationals. It's the most important duty that I have, and I'll continue to discharge it.
US congressional staff were told on Sunday that Iran was not planning to strike American forces.
There you go. And they were told as well sorry, let's go back to that there. That's exactly how it was worded. This is another major point as well, because this is preemptive strikes, which of course is just fucking disgusting.
National staff were told on Sunday that Iran was not planning to strike American forces or bases unless Israel attacked Iran first.
Which it did. So exactly what they said is happening. We're not prepared to attack anybody. We don't want to attack anyone. And then America and Israel have gone in there and attacked them. God, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like there's one of those things where like trying to avoid a Hassan Piker 9/11 moment. But these are the things that they bring on themselves. Anything that happens now as a result of this is all squarely on the toes of America and Israel. Like whatever attacks and atrocities that happen next, that come from Israel, whether it's the bombing of bases and things like that, people dying that way, or whether it's regular terrorism stuff, because we know that they do that too. They do back groups that are regular, old school, proper terrorists that will just come and start fucking shit up in people's inner cities, targeting tube stations, fucking all that sort of stuff. It's horrible. The country's been through it before, but it's the blowback effect, isn't it? This is the before, and that is the after, and they go hand in hand. You cannot have this without having the blowback. At the moment, 8 or 9 countries, I think, are now feeling that blowback. They're being bombed by Iran. How long until we're a proper target? I mean, we've already had British bases come under attack in Cyprus. So, let's see what's going on next. They're also talking about the trade canals. What's it called now? Begins with H. The Suez or the canal, not Suez. Sorry. The what I'm on about, the trade routes and things. They're also talking about setting ships on fire and stuff. It's massively changing things globally as well. It's not just a regional conflict. This is something that's happening around the world. Petrol prices are going to go up. We're going to see oil and stuff. The prices are jumping up while shares are dropping. So we'll see how that goes. It's fucking unbelievable, isn't it? Let's come back over to here. We've got the latest from BBC. Let's get ourselves properly caught up. Let me refresh this. I think there was some more. No. Back up here, please. He also said as well, we're not dealing with Winston Churchill like that towards Starmer. Like, we're not dealing with Winston Churchill here. Yeah, no shit. What do you expect? Like, as far as I'm aware, like Winston Churchill also wouldn't be like involved in this. I don't know Winston Churchill personally, but I know that, based on his speech and stuff, his speech didn't include fighting on Iranian beaches, fighting in Iranian fields or Iranian streets. It was about, you know, like defending ourselves from the last war that we were involved in that was objectively, you know, self-defense and for the benefit of the world. Whereas this, at the moment, the US says that it's hit more than 1,700 targets in Iran so far. It's fucking crazy. Nearly 800 people dead. It's day 4. This is only day 4. So the US says it's hit more than 1,700 targets in Iran since it began its military operations in the country on Saturday. According to an update from the US Central Command, CENTCOM, the targets include missile sites, Navy ships, submarines, and control centers, it says. Yeah, it says. Also, schools are getting blown up, but I mean, I suppose that's more Israel. Although it is an Israel and US operation. Pardon me. The update, which provides information on the first 72 hours of the operation, adds that CENTCOM is prioritizing locations that pose imminent threat. So building linked... See, like... This is it now. You're committed. You can't. There's no going back. You've opened Pandora's box. That's just how this works. And girls' schools. Yeah. How you doing, Dibs? Evening. What is Jim's Peak? What? I've missed it there. All right. Okay. I'm with you now. Yeah. I'm seeing what's happening with the chat. I thought your straight stroke the other night was your best work. Care to repeat it here? So she supports the terror regime. See, that's the thing, isn't it? This is where the sort of the minority of people are sitting at the moment. So there is a minority of people who obviously are very vocal that are like, right, if you oppose the illegal destruction and death of Iranians, then you must support the regime that they have there. You're offering this binary choice as though there is only one option. It has to be war and destruction or abuse by dictators. It doesn't work like that. That's not how it works. It's not how you achieve peace. It's not how you achieve revolution. You can't bomb yourself to democracy. It's never been how it works. Real change has to come from within, from sort of like the grassroots, if you like. Yeah, there are no winners when war happens. There are no winners. Not really. It doesn't work like that. It's only like the disaster capitalists and people like that actually win. Do you know what I mean? The people who've invested in terrible things to happen. There you go. Thank you very much. I'm going to flick over to a story in a minute just about that so we can learn more about this together. The Straits of Hormuz. I'm going to say Hormuz. I nearly said hummus. It's not the Straits of Hormuz. Don't say hummus. That's ridiculous. Laura Kunzberg on Saturday with Zach Polanski had awful question. I'll have a look at that in a second. We'll have a look at it together. Yeah, I just hear Iran is shutting down all the Straits and homos, apparently. Apparently lots of war bastards between them. Yeah, all right, and do you know what? You get 10 points for that. I know you're in the Discord, so you drop yourself for the 10 points in the Discord for that joke. You win. Yeah. She was what a disgrace. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at Laura Kunzberg on Saturday with Zach Polanski. Laura Kunzberg. All right, okay then. Let's have a gander at this then.
Is scandal after scandal because ultimately that isn't a political project. No one's really saying anything or meaning anything. There's just people who are still clinging to power. And I think what that has done is created a deep mistrust in politics and the political system. If you're unemployed or you're disabled or you're running a small business, or even if you're running a medium-sized business, we all have so much more in common than multimillionaires and billionaires who politicians for far too long have allowed not to pay.
Oh, come on.
Is scandal.
You see, where's your most played stuff? I don't want to get a copyright strike off this. Right, but let's skip into it here. Let's see where we're at.
When now 30% of our water bill goes to profit at the same time that they're pumping sewage into our waters and charging us extra for the privilege. I wouldn't stop there, though. I want to bring in rent controls. We want to look at things like universal free.
Okay, let's see if we can find anything a bit more relevant to the topic.
Or you're disabled, or you're running a small business, or genocidal terms about what he wants to do to the Palestinian people.
Offers a state.
rights to self-determination.
But does Britain have a right to? Does the UK have a right to exist?
This the wrong one altogether. But let's have a listen.
As I say, states don't have a right to exist, but British people have a right to have self-determination and sovereignty.
Do you recognise Israel as the post-war home for Jewish people with a right to defend itself as a state?
Yes.
So why do you think it's an issue to some of your councillors to slag off Israel?
I don't think it's about slagging off. I think it's about very legitimate criticism of a genocidal state.
There we go. I think we've got it here.
We've seen what I would say is an illegal and unprovoked attack.
What earthly evidence do you have that Iran would have said, oh, okay, actually, we'll listen to you this time?
Well, I'm here in no way to defend the Iranian regime. I'm here to defend and speak up for the Iranian people.
But the question is, why do you think that negotiation could have been an option here? What evidence do you have of that when it's failed for decades?
Because the moment you've ruled out negotiation, you've accepted that you're going to war. And I don't think the British people want to see another war in that region. So the question becomes, how do you make diplomacy and negotiation work?
See, that's it. And that is the question. It's how do you make it work? Not, well, that's it. It's failed. Let's go straight to war. No, that's not how this works. You can't bomb people into democracy. It creates this. It's like counterinsurgency mathematics. I saw it in that thing a while ago. I can't remember who it was. And the idea was that, you know, if you destroy two insurgents, their family, the people around them, have now, you know, people that were hovering around on the fence, they're also going to enjoy it, and you're going to create more people than you've effectively destroyed. It becomes, like we're saying, a forever war, and this is an illegal war that's happened, and we've been through this before. So diplomacy has to work, not because it's our best option. It's because it is the only option. Take war off the table. Once you remove that card from your deck, suddenly you're playing a hand that's in good faith. And it's not, well, if this fails, we can just throw bombs and that'll fix it. We can throw in democracy afterwards. It never works. It's never worked. I can't stress this enough. Nobody's ever been bombed into democracy. It just doesn't happen. Look at Iraq, look at Syria, look at all these other places where we threw all those munitions. We had those wars that went on for ages. And last time I checked, oh, what's that? ISIS became the result of that. Like, it doesn't work. You're going to create a more unstable region, a more unstable world that is more unsafe for everybody involved. Yeah, it's mad how the Overton window has shifted since 9/11. Ain't that the fucking truth? BB gets what he wants. Absolutely. Iran said, we are not going to fire anything until Israel does. BB said, sure, let's go for it. It's just fucking outrageous, isn't it? It really is. Yeah, so what are your guys' thoughts at the moment? I think this is just, we're stuck in that phase now. I don't see how we're ever going to get out of this. I think Daddy Trump has brought more instability to the world, to the region, and we're going to start seeing more forever wars there. Don't know about you guys. Am I just pessimistic? Have I just spent too much time listening to Blair and Bush to spend any more listening to Trump and how he's got good intentions this time? I mean, it's got to be said, though, as well, of course, when it comes to discussing Iran, the regime and everything else, there is no defending that or what they've done. And it's really important to make this distinction early on now, because there's a lot of people who are going to throw that in your face regardless later. The point is that nobody is supporting that regime. What we're saying is that you cannot bomb a country into suppression. You've got to speak out for the Iranian people. It's the people, the ordinary everyday citizens, the people that just want to go to work, that want an end to oppression, that want an end to all of it, that are now currently sat in their homes, scared, wondering what comes next. Because the Iranians they're not stopping anytime soon. They're not going to be stopped tomorrow or the day after. And when I say Iranians, I mean the Iranian government, the regime. It looks like his son, I believe, maybe also potentially in line to sort of take over, kind of like I don't know, assuming his throne, if you will. But it's horrendous, isn't it? Obama ratings going down. They will now start all the run. Was that Trump's old tweet coming up? Tell all. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay, in that context, I get you now. Yeah, I should have clicked that one first. So yeah, Trump's old tweets are coming up, and Obama ratings go down now. We'll start war with Iran. Trump's ratings gone down now. He started war with Iran. Maybe that was always in his brain. Oh, that's the option. That's the thing you do when your ratings go down. You start wars. It's fucking tragic, isn't it? So there was a couple more things that I wanted to have a quick look at. We're going to watch a chunk of this together. Let's have a quick gander. This is from the BBC. Oh, pardon me. I ate a bunch before I came on, so I didn't have to take a snack break. And it's kind of coming back to haunt me. Right, and while we play this, I am just going to smoke some weed. So let me cover up. There we go.
Hello to you. We're live from Tel Aviv in Israel. This is BBC News. The conflict in the Middle East intensifies. Israel launches a new wave of simultaneous strikes in Tehran and Beirut overnight and says it's sending ground troops into Lebanon. The US and Israel say they have destroyed Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard's command and control facilities. Iran, however, continues to retaliate. 2 drones hit the US embassy in Saudi Arabia.
This isn't, now that they're putting troops on the ground and they're going into Lebanon, this is Iraq 2.0, isn't it? This is Iraq and Afghanistan happening all over again. And to think as well, do you know what? I remember at one point, the only props, because you've got to give people props when they're right, even if they are fucking disgusting, adjudicated rapists like Donald Trump. Just bear with me. I know you would normally, but just credit where credit's due. At the beginning of his campaign to become president of the United States of America, even way back when, he was criticizing previous governments for dragging us into wars in Iraq that were entirely unnecessary. And now look at the danger we're all in with, you know, in terms of the region and the rest of the world at large, with groups like ISIS getting stronger and larger. I mean, they were a direct result of that. He called it out then, and now he's doing the exact same thing. This is the this is the Bush playbook, isn't it? This is we had to attack them. They were so close to being able to attack us, or, you know, weapons of mass destruction. Now it's nuclear weapons. Just a quick reminder as well. I did a post about this a while ago. They said that there was a nuclear threat in the 90s. They said in the 2000s that there was a nuclear threat. They said in the early 2000s there is a nuclear threat. They are months away from weapons-grade uranium and things like that. They said then in the 2010s that there is going to be an attack imminent in the next sort of 6 months coming from Iran. They also said then in the 2020s there's going to be nuclear weapons coming from Iran. Now, it's been made very clear up until this preemptive strike that everything they said before that was bullshit, because it never happened. They say, oh, well, we kept disrupting them and we kept putting sanctions on them and we kept, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. But it's just like the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. It's not real. It's imagined. It's not really there. Like, it's not a real thing. And now they've done this exactly. And what we're going to find now is in 20 years' time, 25 years' time, there's going to be some sort of review or a committee where they'll be like, we did not find the things that we said that we were looking for. Just like they did with Iraq. It's crazy. Troops on the ground in Lebanon. This isn't going to be no 4 or 5 week operation. Like, the terrain of Iran, they've been preparing for invasion. This is, come on, you're never gonna do it. Ooh. In order for me to be able to get more subscribers, more likes and everything else, I had to do some sacrifices and align myself with the devil. That's right, Netanyahu. No, I'm joking. I would never. I'd rather align with the actual fucking devil. But yeah, that's what I did. That's exactly what's happening. But you guys can help me out. Let's remove this freaky omen. Hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit the like button. If you've already hit the like button, hit the share button. I double dare you. Everything helps out. And it helps us out with the algorithm as well, especially when you're hitting the like and all those other things. It, you know, spreads the message, gets it out there. What are we on now? Like 3 likes? Oh my God, 3 likes? Come on, guys. You got this. There's 11 of you watching. There's at least 11 ghosting. Look, on, we can make that a bit higher. Let's help me out. And then I won't have to make deals with the devil anymore.
The American base in Bahrain comes under fire too. Explosions are heard in Qatar, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait. Germany and France join Greece to send military support to Cyprus after the British airbase there comes under drone fire and stranded in the Gulf. As limited flights resume from Dubai and Abu Dhabi, tens of thousands of passengers are still unable. Hello to you from Tel Aviv, from where it...
Right, he keeps saying Tel Aviv. Now I'm going to have to ask, is it Tel Aviv or Tel Aviv? Have I been saying it wrong?
Israel says it is again launching simultaneous strikes on the Lebanese capital Beirut and the Iranian capital Tehran. Now, these pictures show the aftermath of those strikes in Beirut. Israel says it's been hitting Hezbollah strongholds in the south of the city. Hezbollah says it's targeted 3 Israeli bases in...
That's fucking terrifying, isn't it? Could you imagine walking, and there used to be a building here, right? And you're just walking through, and then this happens. It's fucking scary shit, isn't it?
Response. Iran has been striking back, however, right across the region. The US State Department says American citizens should leave much of the Middle East. The Iranian Red Crescent says more than 780 people have been killed so far in the war. And America says 6 of its service members are now known to have died, while 12 people have lost their lives.
And this is the thing as well. This is the... I'm sure of those people, some of them would have been legitimate military targets, but just like the 100+ children at the schools and things, the disproportionate effect of this war against the Iranian people when compared to, say, America or Iran, so America or Israel. So America and Israel objectively started this war. You can talk about negotiation breakdowns. You can talk about whatever you want. On the 28th of February this year, it was America and it was Israel that launched attacks that assassinated the leader of Iran and just decimated the place. As of right now, 4 days later, more than 1,700 targets have been hit by America and Israeli-led strikes. They started this war, right? And now they say it's to, free people, to make the world safer. And all of the cheerleaders, the people that are, the sycophants and the auditors and everyone else that are like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. How amazing is Daddy Trump? Let's see how fucking far up his arse we can get. All of the people that are actually being killed, they say they're doing it for the Iranian people, but it's the Iranian people that are suffering the most. Nearly 800 Iranians are dead. How is this helping them? How is it you can start a war with a group of people, like they're being murdered en masse, and then be like, yeah, well, this is all to help them. This is how you get freedom. This is how you get democracy. It fucking isn't. And if you say, hang on a minute, there's something wrong there, those fuck knuckles will turn around to you and say, oh, pardon me. They'll turn around to you and be like, oh, well, you support the regime. Like, what? No one said that. No, nobody supports the Iranian regime. Like, Iranians don't support the Iranian regime. It's fucking awful. We're just saying we don't support bombing freedom into people. It doesn't work like that. We like to think that the scenes are not possible on our own streets, but experts are now warning that we're heading directly towards World War III. Now, I happen to low-key agree. I mean, it's the more you know, the less you know. The more I look into this, the more I think that, World War III is imminent, but obviously I'm not a political expert. I'm not, I've got no training. I've done no university courses. I really don't understand much of what I'm seeing. I'm, just the average Joe. I'm just the average Burke, basically. But it seems to be that we're heading. Oh, you're saying not heading towards World War III. I don't know, because yeah. Oh, sorry, are not possible. I see. Yeah, you're all right. Okay, so we like to think that these things are not possible on our own streets, but experts are now warning that we are heading directly towards World War III. I agree. I think that's pretty much where sorry. I think that's pretty much where we're going. It seems to be Iran versus fucking everyone at the moment, doesn't it?
In Israel. We're going to show you pictures from Beirut, live pictures there at the moment. Israel's defense minister has told troops to take control.
There you go. Celebrate that, guys. We're doing it. We're bombing them. That's amazing, apparently.
Control of new positions in Lebanon, and that involves boots on the ground. Here in Tel Aviv, I can tell you that it's actually been a little bit quiet throughout the day. We've only had 2 air raid sirens go off, suggesting we need to get down to the bunker here.
It's not normalised it. We've only had 2 air raid sirens right here. Fucking shocking. Absolutely fucking shocking. Yeah, they're in the chat. They're at large. It's the same usual fucking idiots. Don't worry, mate. It's not just you, Snap. It's absolutely horrendous, isn't it? Let's have a click over on this one.
The skies over Iran, black with smoke. Its ballistic missile infrastructure and arsenal steadily blowing up. This, an army facility in Tehran. In Miravan, an intelligence site obliterated. And here, the wreckage of a building where Iran's assembly of experts were meeting to decide the next supreme leader. Far away in Washington, Donald Trump called the war he helped start stupid, but justified.
Fucking hell. I describe Trump as very similar. Stupid.
We were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that.
They also feel strongly about a lot of things. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the guy talking about putting bleach in your body when COVID happened. This adjudicated orange rapist is fucking the grift that never fucking stops grifting. Again, like, I wonder if, is there anyone, like, we'll have to have a look now. I'll try and figure it out. But the oil that he stole from Venezuela, because he said he was taking over Venezuela, when he went and kidnapped the leader, Maduro, he took over the largest oil reserve in the world. And yeah, is that now worth more or less? Is that in any way connected, do you think? I mean, it's food for thought, isn't it? I'll have a look at that in just a second. But yeah, he didn't. This idea now, because obviously it was told to, we heard from like Zara Sultana and others before who, you know, confirmed that it was told by congressional members in America that you know, the attacks from Iran were not likely to happen unless Israel attacked first. So what did they do? They went and attacked first.
Something else he
this is again a thing. Preemptive strikes. Fucking shoot first, ask questions later. It's absolutely abhorrent.
Feels very strongly about is Keir Starmer delivering this scathing broadside.
We are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
No, Winston Churchill, his dad wasn't a toolmaker, unlike Starmer. If you didn't know already, his dad's a toolmaker, just in case you didn't know.
RAF F-35 jets did shoot down an Iranian drone in Jordan, but for America's leader...
Fucking hell. That was violent, wasn't it?
An Iranian drone in Jordan, but for America's leader, it's far too little, too late. This war has rapidly opened a Pandora's box. Iran now targeting 11 countries, drawing out the conflict, expanding the battle, driving up the jeopardy.
This period will pass, and Iran will come out of this historic test victorious. Don't have any doubts. Our civilization, our history, and the God of our homeland will make us victorious. We will defeat the evil.
This is Fujairah oil refinery in Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest oil storage sites in the Middle East.
Look at this. Look at what's happening. Look at what is happening in the world right now. You know, the biggest oil reserves set on fire. There's, you know, nearly 1,000 Iranians are dead. There's US servicemen are dead. There's fucking Israelis are dead. There's just so much death and destruction right now. I don't understand how people aren't understanding that, like, this isn't the way to democracy. This isn't how you overturn regime. It's got to happen through the people from the ground up, not from bombs down. It doesn't work like that. It never has. Like, what we're seeing now is potentially the start of a huge conflict that will last a very long time and make the world a less safe place to be in. It's fucking unbelievable.
Storage sites in the Middle East. Oman was also hit, a drone smashing into Duqm commercial port. This is the broadest war the region has ever seen. But another big shift to watch is on the ground in southern Lebanon. Israel seizing territory. The IDF say it's just a tactical measure on the border, not part of a wider ground operation.
Right, so while they're doing a tactical border operation, America are getting ready to put boots on the ground right there. And I suppose that tactical border operation might as well link up with them, and then together they can tactically wipe out people in Iran. You cannot beat Iran like this. It's exactly the same with Iraq. What happened with Iraq? We went there, we were fighting Al-Qaeda and people like that, and then we lost, and then we had to leave the region. It was just an unending cycle of death and destruction. ISIS was created out of the back of it. and then we ended up there. That is exactly, my prediction is that is exactly what is going to happen here. We've got ourselves another forever war. I mean, we're still technically fighting the Iraq war. We're still feeling the effects of it. We're still, the world is still, in terms of security and everything else, we're still expecting a hit from places like ISIS and everything else. It's fucking unbelievable. How dangerous is Iraq now? Under the fucking, and Afghanistan and places like that, under the watchful eye of the Taliban and ISIS, the fucking, all these things that these far right people claim to want to avoid, right? That's what they're compounding. They're going to make that worse. They're talking about like how, this place wasn't democratic and that place wasn't democratic, and they're going to remain non-democratic now, thanks to the support that you guys have given these people and the power that you've put them in, enabling them to be able to do this shit. They are now going around and bombing the fuck out of everywhere. It's not going to be a democracy. That's the opposite of how you get a democracy. What's going to happen now is you're going to radicalize individuals, you're going to embolden other groups, and then you're going to see absolute fucking destruction. Isn't Iraq a democracy now? No, not quite. Iraq is still struggling with things like ISIS. The Taliban, for example, in Afghanistan, that go right through to Iraq and everywhere else, they own that shit. That's not a democracy either. Oh my God. There is something deeply and profoundly wrong with you. Do you think that that's the better scenario? Do you think that that's like the better outcome? That's how that works? Is that what you genuinely think? You're like, well, I mean, the Taliban know not to fuck around, apart from, all of the butchering, the murdering, the destruction of women's rights, the fucking kids' rights and everything else. Like, I don't understand. They are not the preferred option. What we should have had is we should be able to support the Iraqi people, the Afghanistani people, and be able to help them make changes on their own. Be able to help recognize it, support them if we need to in other ways. We don't need to bomb them indiscriminately, wiping out. How many millions of Iraqis were killed? Like 500,000. How many? Do you know what? we're gonna crack on now. That is honestly the thickest, most ridiculous comment of the day. You win that one. No, right, okay, no, this was even more stupid. The 2021 Taliban isn't a threat like the 2001 Taliban. What the fuck are you on about? Whoa, Ray needs to calm it down. Honestly, Jesus, Ray, fucking hell.
But it could soon become one. For months, there's been speculation about Israel making a major move on Lebanon. When Hezbollah decided to enter the fray by firing rockets, it gave them the chance to justify getting troops on the ground.
And there you go, as it's being put there, it was already in the pipeline. This is what they already wanted to do. Who does this war benefit? Well, Israel, obviously.
It is an emboldened nation now trying to seize the opportunity to remake the region. They may frame it as a war of necessity, but it's given them choices, and with no deadline. Cordelia Lynch, Sky News, Tel Aviv, Israel.
And my dad's been saying for ages, he's been warning about, like, Israel want to drag America into a war with the rest of the region. And, yeah, it looks like that's exactly what's happening. Let's make me a little smaller over here. But yeah. Iraq is a democracy. Iran's a democracy now. It's fucking unbelievable, isn't it? Oh, God. But that's just the thing, isn't it? That's the sort of stupidity that you have to battle with at the moment. There is that small contingent. As we've seen before, we looked at the YouGov poll. Most people don't support this sort of stuff. The few people that do are usually the auditor type sort of people that orbit around that sort of section of the far right. It's unbelievable. Yeah, what? Trump is getting bullied by the Jews. Conspiracy nonsense. That is conspiracy nonsense. Who said that? Nobody. I'll tell you what, I will give you £1 million cash money right now in your hand if you can tell me who said that. Who said that? You show me who said that to you, Ray, and we will go and find them. Honestly, I swear. We'll go and find them and we'll go tell them that is exactly not what's happening. Nobody said that. Nobody even mentioned Jewish peoples as a group at all in any way, shape or form. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it, that when somebody mentions Israel and then somebody else immediately goes into, oh, Jews, this, that, and the other, That's a telltale sign that they are anti-Semitic. That's an anti-Semitic thing to do, to equate Israel to all Jewish people and all Jewish people to Israel. It's racist. That's what it is. That's exactly what it fucking is. Oh, I love you guys. This is the thing, right? That it is being forced to fight Israel, right? And then you were like, the Jews, like nobody said Israel, right? Nobody. And I didn't say to fight Israel either. That's not what I said. I didn't say that. See, this is the thing now. You put in order for you to be able to, like, make your worldview make sense. Any information that you hear that comes out of my mouth, you have to either twist it or change it because it all directly threatens that fragile, snowflakey worldview that you've built up. And it's weird and it's strange and it's unbecoming of a man your age. I'm just saying. And the way you frame it is, yeah, okay, there you go. So that was the quote. Dragged into a war by Israel. Yeah, that's exactly what I fucking said. That's not what... I absolutely did not say in any way, shape, or form that Trump is being bullied by the Jews. That is not what anyone said. And if when I said that, where was it? Dragged into war by Israel, if this is what you heard, you are anti-Semitic. You're not helping the situation. You need to go and read something. Like a Beano would be useful at this stage. Jesus, fuck. Just read something. The commander-in-chief. We shall rename Chief to Queef. That is how you shall be known from now on. Queef is in our bed. Pass it on. All right, Marco Rubio clip. Is that what we're going to jump on next, is it? Clearly explains they're doing it because of Israel. Right, let's have a look. I'll have a look gander at the Marco Rubio clip. Do you know what? If you could save me having to not find it or only get the clips up. If you happen to have any links or anything, then drop them in. Okay. All right, then. And I'm going to delete my search thing there because I'm not showing you how badly I spelt Marco Rubio's name. I massacred that. There we go.
Conducted this operation with a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way.
See, this is that again. I'm just going to address this very quickly, just because this is like what a straw man is. Who said forced? No one said the word forced. We said dragged, which meant, in my opinion, this is how I'm saying it. They're creating a situation in which America has no choice really but to respond the way that it's responding. Right? They have created that environment whereby that response is far more likely to happen. That's being dragged into something. I wouldn't have said that Trump would have initially have wanted to have done this at the start of his it's not premiership, is it? It's presidency. There you go. That's what you call it. At the start of his presidency, it's not anything I'm sure he would have imagined himself getting into. But because of the situation that we're in, and because Israel are pushing, that they're looking for reasons to be able to justify their aims, and they finally found them, and they're going for it. And I'm not saying that America's innocently just been guided by the hand, while covering its face, like, oh, where are we going? Oh no, we've just assassinated another, Iranian leader. It's, I'm sure that, obviously that, there's something that they're both getting out of this. We totally understand that. But my whole point is that this isn't making the world any safer. It means an unbelievably large amount of dead Iranians. Before this ends, there will be a large amount of dead Iranians. There'll be a large amount of dead American troops, dead Israeli troops, IDF and everything else, especially if they're going in the ground and they're trying to go out that way. There'll be a large amount of dead people. And that is wrong. I don't agree with the regimes. I stand with the people. That's how it should always be. People first policy whenever it comes to looking at this sort of stuff.
The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone,
Israel. Let's go back to this. So here's the reason. This is Marco Rubio, right? You ready?
Of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to them.
That was their terms. They said initially during the process, they said, we are not going to attack anyone unless Israel attack us. If Israel attack us, we're going all out. Israel were going to attack Iran. So America jumped in because they knew that they would be next if Israel were to start attacking them, because Iran and America are joined at the hip. They're sharing intelligence, military aid, they're sharing all sorts of things. They're swapping bullets, weapons grants. There's a whole war machine industry built on the back of their relationship. It's, you know what I mean? They're like this. They are completely joined at the hip now. And I also just wanted to say here, so there won't be any Israeli or US ground troops. Well, so you might be surprised to know that Israel is now in the battling Hezbollah on the ground on the Lebanese border. They are there. That is that. America has said that the next phase of this will involve troops. It is going to happen. Donald Trump has said that we are putting troops there, and Netanyahu already has troops there ready to go. That's happening. There won't be anything easy. Yeah, it'd be really embarrassing if you wrote that and the leaders of both Israel and America said that that's exactly what they're going to do. Fucking, like, it's weird, isn't it? You might as well be saying something like, people don't need water to live. What? What a stupid, weird thing to say.
The field commanders, it was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true, because in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties.
Right, okay, he's left out a key part there that he mentioned before, so let's tie this together easy. What he's trying to say is that we would have come under attack no matter what, right? And they're partly right, because they know that Israel would have conducted an illegal attack with or without them, which would have dragged Israel's allies and people that are helping it into this war, and it would have become a broader war, which it is already. So America took the advantage, and they were like, right, we want the element of surprise. I mean, although it wasn't a surprise to anyone, he sent a fucking armada there. In his own words, a massive armada. But when they didn't capitulate, which surprised him, and we knew that there was no way of stopping Israel from fucking slaughtering more children as they have done, they're just bloodthirsty. This government, this regime in Israel, is the most bloodthirsty regime that is currently in existence, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sure maybe, there may be other conflicts or whatever, but I can't see many surpassing them. They break the record on like killing journalists and bombing schools, hospitals, all of that stuff. They take the cake, don't they? But yeah, so they've now launched themselves into this war headlong first, knowing full well that, they wouldn't be able to stop Israel. That's why they did it. That's why they had to do it, because you can't control Israel. It is a damn rogue nation, and they are up to their eyeballs in involvement with Israel. They cannot be separated from them. Israel and America, as far as it's just like with the special relationship with Britain and America. At one point, you could not have any beef with America without having beef with Britain directly, not just like through sanctions or whatever. We would turn up at your door, right? That was exactly how it worked. It's similar like that in terms of relationship with Israel at the moment.
And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act. Going back to the purpose. The purpose of this is to destroy that missile capability. Why does Iran want that ballistic missile capability? What they are trying to do and have been trying to do for a very long time is build a conventional weapons capability as a shield where they can hide behind.
Just remember as well, just remember what was said.
US congressional staff were told on Sunday that Iran was not planning to strike American forces or bases unless Israel attacked Iran first. In other words, there was no intelligence indicating an imminent threat. Yet we have already seen preemptive strikes attacking a girls' school, killing over 100 children.
So when he's saying that, like, you know, oh, we didn't have a choice, they were going to do it, what he's actually saying is that, yeah, the attack dog has rabies. Rabies. Fucking hell. I didn't mean to say that word, but yeah, the attack dog has rabies. That's exactly what that means. That they're saying, look, we cannot control Israel. They are so bloodthirsty. Iran's conditions are very clear. We will not attack you or your allies if you or your allies don't attack us, right? And they were like, right, as it stands, we cannot stop our allies, Israel, from attacking them. So it looks like the only option here is war. That's how bad Israel has become, isn't it? That's how bad it is. It's fucking abhorrent.
Meaning, there would come a point where they have so many conventional missiles, so many drones, and it can inflict so much damage that no one can do anything about their nuclear program. That is what they were trying to do, is put themselves in a place of immunity where the damage they could inflict on the region would be so high that no one can do anything about their nuclear program or their nuclear ambitions. They are producing, by some estimates, over 100 of these missiles a month. Compare that to the 6 or 7 interceptors that can be built a month. They can build 100 of these a month, not to mention the thousands of one-way attack drones that they also have. They've been doing this for a very long time, and by the way, they've been doing it under sanction. You see the attacks they're conducting right now? They're attacking airports, they're attacking hotels, they're hitting not just military bases, they're attacking our embassies directly, they're attacking facilities that have...
Yeah, it's not like anybody, you know, it's not like you guys are, I don't know, attacking schools or anything. Like, how are these people trying to get the moral high ground here? How the fuck is that happening? How is Marco Rubio going to be like, well, I mean, they struck these places, they struck those places. Yeah, we know you're doing the same fucking things. Like, at least have a little bit of consistency in your bullshit. Come on.
have nothing to do with war or with military, and that's a weakened Iran. That's an Iran despite years of sanction. Imagine a year from now or a year and a half from now, the capabilities they would have to inflict damage on us. It's an unacceptable risk, especially in the hands of a regime that's run by radical clerics. The Ayatollah was a radical cleric. That entire regime is led by radical clerics who don't make geopolitical decisions. They make decisions on the basis of theology, their view of theology, which is an apocalyptic one. That has to be taken very seriously.
Does anybody remember when God told George Bush to go and invade Iraq? Everybody loves to bang on about how we're like Christian countries. We're Christian nations, you know, America, the US, and the West, and that. We're all Christian nations. When we invade people, is that then Christian invasion? Or like, do you know what I mean? Do we call, because obviously they're all deeply religious and they're deeply motivated by it. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? Is that Christian extremism and shit?
Seriously as well. So that was the purpose for what this operation is all about. That's what it's focused on. As the president said earlier today, it is on or ahead of schedule. I will defer to the Department of War to discuss the progress being made at a tactical level, but it was the right decision and an important decision for the safety and security of the world.
Does Congress have to weigh in? Does Congress have to weigh in? Is the president declaring war, and does Congress have to weigh in? And was there an imminent threat? Did you tell lawmakers that there was an imminent threat?
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to...
Why? How did you know that Iran was going to be attacked? It's because your allies, Israel, were going to do it. So instead of saying, hey, look, for world peace, Israel, we're going to have to take a stance against you here. We can't have you attacking these people because then it might mean X, Y, or Z. I mean, imagine if during the negotiations, the Iranians said, look, we won't attack anybody as long as Israel doesn't attack us, right? Imagine now that the other side said the same. We're not going to attack anybody unless we're attacked. Imagine that. No war immediately. But they can't do that. So while one side is saying that we're not going to attack anybody unless we're threatened, the other side is saying, well, we already know that you're about to be obliterated because, you know, our allies, the people that we've been sending weapons to, are going to use those weapons to attack you. So we now have to attack you to ensure that, you know, like we're going to preemptively, like, it's fucking, you can't make this stuff up. America has got itself into a forever war that's destabilized the entire region and jeopardized global safety because they couldn't stop Israel from attacking Iran. Who's the bad guys? Well, that would be Iran, right?
Sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactive.
Why? Okay, let's go back there a second.
For them to hit us first after they were attacked.
We're going to wait for them to hit us first after our allies attack them, the people that we give weapons to. So if let's figure this out, right? So if what you're saying is that we had to hit them first because we gave all these weapons and, you know, free reign to this nation Israel over here, who are definitely going to attack them. So we thought, because they'd attack us afterwards, if our allies use our weapons to attack them, that we would then, like, none of this makes sense. None of it makes any sense. Israel are clearly the aggressor here. If Israel, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not making an argument for why they, you know, should or shouldn't be, because obviously Israel has a right to exist and all that. But if Israel, let's say, wasn't in the scenario whatsoever, let's say it was a peaceful nation that just literally didn't, you know, bomb or attack anybody else, right? This wouldn't be the situation at all, would it? It wouldn't. If Israel wasn't in the equation, this wouldn't be the situation. And what I'm saying by that is, I'm not trying to say remove Israel from the equation. Nothing weird like that. What I'm trying to say is that alone is proof that Israel is instrumental in the war that we have here. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for them. The only reason that we're going in and attacking Iranians and, you know, allowing schools to be blown up under US Israeli-led strikes is because America could not control Israel. That's it. Israel would have attacked and they would have started the war. And so America it feels like it has to get in there first, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? When you think about it from that angle.
And by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us.
They get attacked and then they hit us first. Wait a minute. So yeah, if us or our allies attack them first, then they might attack back. So we've got to attack first. And then they won't be able to attack back. But they did. Like, what?
We would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life. No, let me two things I would say. Number one is, no matter what, ultimately this operation needed to happen. That's the question of why now. But this operation needed to happen because Iran in about a year or a year and a half would cross the line of immunity, meaning they would have so many short-range missiles, so many drones that no one could do anything about it because they could hold the whole world hostage. Look at the damage they're doing now.
Right, okay, this is just another thing. They have been saying this since before I was born. These are the same things that they said then that they are saying now. The only reason it hasn't come to blows and America hasn't tried to force its way into Iran previously, even though they have had, like, you know, there's like the 14-day war and everything else. The only reason that they've never, you know, really done what they're doing right now is because you can't win. You just can't beat Iran in a war. It's not like they're trying to sell it, but also the terrain and everything else. These people are ready for this. You know, this is a nation that is used to invasion. It's used to defending itself. It's used to, you know, it's used to geopolitics. It knows what it's doing. Unfortunately, when it comes to fighting, it knows exactly what it's doing. You can't just push Iran over. So previously, American forces haven't even tried. Now, they don't have a choice because Israel is in the frame. Because Israel is now saying that, look, we are going to 100% attack Iran for no reason. We're just going to attack Iran because we want to, for, you know, maybe a broader Israel project, whatever it is that they're doing. And there is, you know, there's no way you can stop us at all. So America's gone, fine, I guess that, you know, we're going to have to join in with you, because if we don't, then that's going to trigger a huge conflict, and we need to be able to cripple their responses immediately. Why not just stop Israel? Just stop Israel. The leader is already an internationally wanted criminal. He's already got an arrest warrant out for him for war crimes and such. Like, why must America be stuck to the hip to them so freaking much? Like, this shit needs to stop.
And this is a weakened Iran. Imagine a year from now. So that had to happen. Obviously, we were aware of Israeli intentions and understood what that would mean for us, and we had to be prepared to act as a result.
Yes. So when I said dragged into a war, I mean this. I mean that America understood what Israel's intentions were, which was they were outright going to attack Iran no matter what. Yeah. We all agree that. Marco Rubio's saying that it's unavoidable. Israel were going to attack America. So they've been dragged into this. They have to do it. And this, in my opinion, has always been Israel's intention, to be able to drag a bigger, more powerful force, a world power, the world power, into this conflict so that there is no losing for them. Otherwise, it would take them much longer, with a much bigger cost in life and money and everything else, whatever it is that they're throwing at the war machine. America has been dragged into this, and here you can hear from Marco Rubio's own mouth that this was because they couldn't keep a leash on Israel.
Result of it, but this had to happen no matter what.
Secretary, President Trump said overnight that his top choices to now run Iran were killed in the strikes. Does the United States have a firm plan for how they intend to handle this power vacuum in Iran to ensure that an iron hardliner does not take power?
So two things can be true. Number one is our mission and our focus is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and their ability to manufacture them, as well as the threat posed by their Navy to global shipping. That's our objective. That said, we would not mind, we would not be heartbroken, and we hope that the Iranian people can overthrow this government and establish a new future for that country. We would love for that to be possible. But the objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and of their naval capabilities.
Unless, of course, you're Israel, at which point it seems like the mission is to destroy schools, to create such an appetite for war and unrest within Iran that there's no talking your way out of this now. I almost feel like saying war is coming, but obviously it is already a war, and this has been going on for 4 days. What I think I mean is that war is spreading, and it's going to get further and further removed from the original source. And then, I mean, just like the Archduke Ferdinand was just one incident that led to a cascading event of other incidents that led to that world war. I believe that we may be staring down the barrel of another one in a very similar way with this situation that we have here.
Secretary, so are you saying, based on that, are you saying that there is no responsibility, no plan for the U.S. to at least play a role in whatever government comes next?
We might. We'll see how circumstances play out. But I'm telling you what the objectives of this operation are. The objectives of this operation are to destroy their ballistic missile capability and make sure they can't rebuild it, and make sure that they can't hide behind that to have a nuclear program. That's the objective of the mission. That said, abundantly clear, we would love for there to be an Iran that's not governed by radical Shia clerics. As I've said myself repeatedly for years, the leadership of that country does not reflect the people of Iran, and I think that's been pretty apparent in the protests that you've seen. If there's something we can do to help them down the road, we'd obviously be open to it, but that's not the objective. The objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities.
Regime change has not gone well for the United States.
The what now?
Regime change has not gone well for the United States for many, many decades. How do you assure the American public that things will not get worse for the next regime that comes in there and replaces the
Well, we would love to see this regime be replaced. And ultimately, as the president has said, he calls, but let me finish my answer. As the president has said, he would love for the people of Iran to use this as an opportunity to rise up and remove these leaders. They've been wanting to remove them from a long time. We've seen successive waves of protests, and we've seen them slaughter people. Okay, but the objective of this mission is to make sure they don't have these weapons that can threaten us and our allies in the region. That's why we're doing what we're doing now. And while we would love to see a new regime, the bottom line is no matter who governs that country a year from now, they're not going to have these ballistic missiles and they're not going to have these drones to threaten us. That's the objective of this mission, is to deny them the ability to use ballistic missiles to threaten their neighbors, to threaten our bases, to threaten our presence in the region, and ultimately as a shield behind which they can do whatever they want with their nuclear weapons ambition.
Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. You couldn't stop Israel from fucking destroying the fucking world peace, could you? You just can't. They can't be stopped. You know, funnily enough, we kind of agree. I mean, if you swap out the word Iran with Israel, then yeah, I'd absolutely agree with you. I 100% would. Yeah, if Israel's ability to terrorize its neighbors is ended, there'll be peace in the Middle East. Definitely. I completely, yeah. It just got to swap out the word Iran there for Israel. See, the trouble is as well, when it comes to the instability of that region now, it's not just about Iran, it's not just about Israel, it's not just about America, but there's all of the other allies, all of the other targets around there. It's about, now for Iran, what I think we're going to see now is we're going to start seeing really dirty war tactics. That's what we're going to start seeing. They're going to start retaliating as they have done, which is hitting compounds that not just destabilize America's presence within the region or Israel's presence within the region, but also will destabilize the world in whole, won't it? So like we're talking about the oil reserves and things that they've been striking. They're going to, you know, keep jacking your fuel prices up and everything else. It's going to become an everyone's problem thing. That will be the aim of Iran at the moment, I suspect. I don't know, but that's what I suspect. The only way Epic Fury could be any worse name is if they spelt it. And let's speak. Like that, yeah. But no, it's hell of a thing, isn't it? So let's have a look at it now. We're going to go over to CBC. And if I press this button, we will anyway.
With each passing day in this conflict, the proverbial fog of war expands. Here, Israeli airstrikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon after the militant Shia group launched revenge attacks against Israel over the death of Iran's...
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
Against Israel.
Isn't that so scary? There could be people inside those rooms. That is, oh, fucking hell. Like, some people love the idea of war. This is what your war is. This is what it is, right here. Like, that we could have just seen without directly watching it. I don't know if there was if those buildings were evacuated or whatever. I don't know, to be honest. But we might have just seen a whole group of people just dying there. In just one strike, that building slipped away and all the life inside it just gone. That is so scary. That's what war is. That's the reality of war. That's what people are calling for. That's what some people are cheering for. That's what the far right are loving at the moment, aren't they? They're like, yes, authoritarian style leader, dropping bombs all over the world, kidnapping world leaders, you know, blowing some up here. Fucking schools are getting blown up. This is fucking horrendous.
Death of Iran's supreme leader. Local officials say the strikes in Lebanon have already killed dozens. Hundreds of Lebanese have fled the south, and the Israeli military is calling up reservists. We have mobilized close to 100,000, said Brigadier General Effie Defrin, dozens of battalions to defend the northern border. But the epicenter of this conflict remains in Iran. Israel and the United States continuing the heavy airstrikes they say will help put an end to a corrupt and evil regime. Iran,
which of course it never does it? It never does that. At best, the US can perhaps bomb their way into a power vacuum in the region. Maybe. That's probably best case scenario when you're using munitions like that. The best thing you can really hope to achieve is just by destroying the place long enough for a power vacuum to emerge, and then someone else twice as worse takes over. I mean, again, look at Iraq, look at ISIS, look at, you know, Afghanistan, look at Taliban and all that stuff. It's just fucking mental, isn't it? Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I don't understand what makes you say that. So, like, yeah, I've spoke out against Israel for longer than most, but saying the nations around them are innocent is bollocks argument. Yeah, so I don't think anybody said that. Did anybody? again, right? Okay, I'll tell you what, Grateful Ant. You point to me in the chat who said that. Who said that their neighbours were innocent? I'll have a word with them personally. All right. Well, we've got this. We're together on this issue. We both agree this is disgusting. War is disgusting. We don't want any part in it. We all agree that, right? And nobody here said that that was innocent. And if they did, point them to me, and I will give them a timeout personally. Just write the name. Who was it that said that all their neighbours are innocent?
Iran's Red Crescent says more than 500 people have been killed so far, many civilians reportedly among the dead. Some Iranians inside the country say those outside are too quick to celebrate freedom from a religious dictatorship that is far from being delivered. I'm surprised by some Iranians abroad, the writer Mariam Manouchehri posted on social media. Yes, we are afraid of the mullahs, but we're also afraid of bombs. Fear is not restricted to Iran or to Israel, where Iranian missiles continue to slip through defenses.
How fucking scary must that be? And meanwhile, there's a whole group of people on the other side that are like fucking, yes, this is amazing. And then the Iranians that live in there are like, this is fucking terrifying. Not only have they got, the regime to fucking duck out for, who are absolutely slaughtering people by the tens of thousands, but now they've got bombs to dodge. They've got to drop, I bet every bomb that drops, they don't feel like, oh, do you know what? I can feel a little bit more democracy growing. Each bomb that drops, we're getting a little bit more. No, it doesn't work like that. That's not how it is. So you've just spoke like Israel is attacking an innocent Iran. Again, I didn't say that either. No one's saying that. Nobody here is saying that. I don't understand what this position is, where if you say that, oh, this is an illegal war started by Israel and America, they preemptively struck Iran. They struck first, they struck hard, they killed the leader. This all violates international law, and it is an illegal war that's happening in the Middle East. I've got no appetite for illegal wars that happen in the Middle East. Everyone's like, oh, I see. I've heard what you said. And I think you support the Iranian regime. What? No, nobody's even close to saying that. Nobody remotely said anything like that.
Forewarned by air raid sirens,
Sorry, let's go back. I just want to listen to an Iranian person in the light of this comment here. So let's see what an Iranian person's saying.
I'm surprised by some Iranians abroad, the writer Mariam Manouchehri posted on social media. Yes, we are afraid of the mullahs, but we're also afraid of bombs.
Come on, do I have to join the dots for you?
Fear is not...
That right there with the paving and everything else, that's anyone's high street. You know what I mean? Slap a bit of bunting on there. You know what I mean? And that could be any high street in the UK. It's scary how far removed from, death and destruction people are. And they see this is scared, the fear, the running. And they're like, yes, this is ultimately a good thing. It's fucking not. It's not.
Restricted to Iran or to Israel, where Iranian missiles continue to slip through defenses. Forewarned by air raid sirens, this strike in the desert city of Beersheba. Iran's targeting of Middle Eastern countries hosting U.S. military bases is amplifying fears the war will spread. Here in Amman, the sound of Jordanian warplanes patrolling the sky.
I've been there. I've been to this city, not even that long ago, just a couple of years ago. Sorry, guys, I've got to go get my dog in. He's knocking at the door. But you know what I mean? I've been to these places. It could just as well be me or anyone on holiday in a city like Amman or something that's caught up in this. There is no prize worth destroying human life. Right. Oh, let me fill that water up here. Sorry, guys, one sec. There you go. You're all topped up with water. Your sound. Dogs are sound, guys. Panic over. Dogs are absolutely sweet. I looked down and the bowl wasn't full of water. Disaster. Oh wow. Your daughter was in a man just last week. How so lucky and fortunate. I don't want to use the word lucky. There's no luck in this, but yeah. Oh my God. Oh goodness. Just last week as well. That's so scary. So you see what I mean? So I'm not coming from this as a defense of any regime or anybody. I don't care for the Iranian government. I hate the Iranian government just as much as I hate the Israeli government, just as much as I loathe the American government. It's all the same thing to me. What I stand by with absolute moral clarity is that all war, including illegal war, is wrong. It's not the way to go forward. We need diplomacy. We need to negotiate. We need to be able to talk, and we need to be able to like change in democracy. It doesn't come from being bombed. That's how regimes harden. That's how, control gets even more gripped internally, and how we end up in a more unsafe world. Like, again, we have examples to look at just within our lifetime. I mean, if you've got a daughter that's old enough to travel to Oman, then, you'll, like me, you'll remember the Iraq War and everything else. It's unbelievable, isn't it? The people of Iran are who I stand with. The people of Israel are who I stand with. The people of America are who I stand with. I stand with humans. The people of Palestine are who I stand with. I don't support, just because I say I'm anti-genocide or anti-war or anything like that, it does not equate, for some reason, I don't know why I have to explain it, but it does not equate to, being pro any one or the other regime. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. I think we all have a lot more in common than you might think. We're all probably deeply anti-war when you think about it. When you look at the realities of war. I mean, look at this stuff. This is just a man. This is just several hours on a plane. I've been there myself. I've done it myself. It's a cool, the city of the Seven Hills, I think they call it. It's a really hilly place. It's awesome. They've got like Colosseum. They've got so much history there as well. It's one of the most continuously occupied places. It's just, it's just like everywhere else. It's got history. It's rich with things. It's a place full of humans and full of life. And this shit right now.
Here in Amman, the sound of Jordanian warplanes patrolling the skies is a near constant.
For the community.
24-year-old Salman Abu Rezek says Iran's actions make no sense.
They bomb literally the region. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan as well. Why?
One theory, Adrian, is that Iran...
Because that is a really deeply powerful question. Is it just, because when they were targeting hotels and things, I do believe that the official narrative, and by the way, never believe the official narrative, but this is just the official narrative, that they were assassinating legitimate military targets that were planning out or, in some way part of the machine that's causing war at the moment. It's so messy and so horrible. Hopefully, Margaret Evans, the CBC News senior international correspondent, is going to clear it up for us a little bit.
Iran was hoping that the pain those countries are feeling now might encourage them to lobby Washington for a quicker end to the war.
Yeah, that's interesting. But if that's the goal, Margaret, it's not clear that it's working yet.
Yeah, Adrian, it seems to actually just be making them angrier. I mean, if you remember, those countries, the Gulf countries in particular, really lobbied Donald Trump not to go to war with Iran in the first place.
And again, nearly coughed then, sorry. Again, with this stupid stuff. And they're like, so you support the removal of the Iranian regime, but, and here comes the bit that nobody said, can't handle the reality of removing a regime. No, that's not, I didn't say that. I'd like, what the fuck are you on about? Like, that's not even close to what I was saying. Let me make it really simple, and I'll try and, if I can find any crayons, I'll get back to you with them. But for the meantime, just picture this in your mind. All right, make sure your mind's blank, all right? And then, just to start with, no, this, that, and the other, right? Imagine that there's nothing else around you except for these words. Imagine you could see the words. I don't support the bombing of people. I don't support war. I especially don't support illegal war. You cannot bring democracy simply by bombing people. That's it. That's my stance. That's my whole stance. That's it. In a nutshell. What now? What, bitch? What? Like fucking hell. what will you make up next?
Now they're finding themselves under attack by Iran, and in some cases, not just military targets being hit, but also civilian and commercial targets.
All right, thank you. That is Margaret Evans and Amman Jordan tonight.
We're live with Sky News.
Away and took a 100-year lease.
Oh, that was from previously. Was there? Is this just a live show, or was there a speech done beforehand? This is just the same thing that we were watching earlier, isn't it?
Far away in Washington, Donald Trump called the war he helped start stupid.
Yeah, that's the stuff we were watching before. Yeah. Let's have a look at some of this stuff then. So do you support fighting Hitler? Yes, Hitler was invading. The next stop for Hitler was the UK. That was of course I agree with us pushing that back and, you know what I mean, freeing all the nations that it invaded, which is nothing at all like what we're talking about right now. We're not like oh my God. It's weird, isn't it? It's almost as though you can't address the actual things that are being said and you have to just create your own sort of way of looking at it. It's weird, man. It's so weird. Oh, is that you got you, is it? So you support some wars? I honestly, if you're about to be invaded, yes, you should fight back. Always. You should fight back if you're about to be invaded. I also think that it should never get to that point, and I'm against it ever getting to that point. I think that it should always have been negotiation, diplomacy, and being able to talk with people. That's exactly it. You can't bomb into democracy. It's never worked. It doesn't happen like that. So let's have a gander. I want to learn specifically about the attack on Cyprus. I don't know a huge deal about that, but I do know obviously that they've attacked Cyprus. So let's have a look. See if we can learn a little bit of stuff from Richard Medhurst.
So Iran have reportedly bombed the Royal Air Force base that we have in Cyprus. Okay. Now, just before I continue, I'm going to tell you my dad, my granddad, my great-granddad, they all served. Okay. I didn't serve, but they did. Nerve to tell Iran to refrain from indiscriminate military strikes. And then he has the nerve. Look at this. The UK, right, along with Germany and France, have the nerve to tell Iran to refrain from indiscriminate military strikes. Really? First of all, I haven't seen any indiscriminate military strikes from Iran, which is really saying something because you just slaughtered their supreme leader and 100 schoolgirls, not to mention bombing hospitals and journalists. So their restraint is formidable at this point. It's commendable. But you haven't mentioned or condemned or even, questioned the slaughter of 100 schoolgirls in Iran by the United States and Israel, which you're supporting. So basically, you slaughtered them. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as international law is concerned, there is no difference between who is doing the bombing and all of the actors that support the bombing. There is no difference under international law. There is no distinction.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, it's really important to note at this point that this isn't just hyperbole. This actually happened. This isn't just, chatting for the sake of it. It's not waffling. These are real things that are really happening right now. That's what I don't support, because that's ultimately, does anybody here think that bombing that school or bombing those 2 schools in Iran has made Iran a safer, better place? Does anybody think that that's true? Specifically, Ray, do you think that's true? That by bombing schools, Iran and the world is now a much better, safer place? It's not, is it? Yeah, you know what? I'm willing to wait too. Let's fucking wait for his ass. What do you think? Queef, go on. Do you think that bombing the schools, or is it maybe it's not an unreasonable position to take to say, hang on a minute, you know, let's not be doing shit like that. Let's go back to the negotiating table. Let's go back to talking. Let's go back to, you know, Iran was at the last point that they were negotiating. Iran said, see, there you go. So the question was, do you think that the world is a better place? And the answer was, innocent people get hurt in war. Do you see how that's not the question? That answer doesn't fit the question, does it? So I'll ask again, does anybody think that bombing children makes the world a safer place? Oh, so Chief is pro-bombing schoolgirls. I mean, if we take their line of logic and, you know, when we look at the things they say, what can we extrapolate from that? What, you know what I mean? Like when asked, like, you know, oh, should we or shouldn't we kill these kids? Like, does that make the world a better place? You know, that's quite a big dilemma. Should we be doing this shit? Well, innocents get hurt all the time. It's fucking, imagine that. Is that what you'd say to the families and stuff of, you know, like people that had like relatives in that school? Like people whose kids it was in Iran. Do you reckon they feel better for it? Do you reckon they're celebrating and praying right now? They're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for bombing these kids. It doesn't work like that, does it? That's not how democracy comes. That's how you create endless wars. Yeah. What Ray was all about, protecting the women and girls, right? Not if it includes regime change. Oh, so you're doing the classic, right? Well, we've got to sacrifice these people for the greater good. Is that what it is? We're sacrificing the schools for a greater good now. Thank you, Ray.
Very, very important to understand. So when I'm saying, well, Iran are in the right, I mean that from a legal sense. And of course, there's the moral sense and the logical sense, but legally speaking, if you give a paperclip.
And I'll say it just in case he doesn't. Like, legally speaking, yes, absolutely bang on. But don't brush over the other stuff, you know, because, no, the Iranian regime was absolutely disgusting. It was horrendous. And in no way, shape or form could that regime ever be considered to be right. It's just that in the strictest legal senses, when you do break it down, you look at this war and you look at one side saying, we will not attack anyone unless we're being attacked. And then America went, oh, fuck, well, there's no way they're not getting attacked. So let's fucking do it now. You know what I mean? It's like, shit, man. And then schools and everything else, it's a violation of obvious international laws. So from a legal standpoint, of course, you know, that's the stance that people are going to take. But try not to conflate that with we love fucking the regime or the Ayatollah always standing for that. It's fucking bollocks, man.
Right? You give a screwdriver. You give a nail.
Oh, you guys are playing that game. Oh. Chief, yes or no, do you condemn the bombing of schoolgirls? See, now I should have said it like that, because that's exactly how they love to phrase this and throw it at us, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, do you condemn it? Yes, condemn it all. Outright condemn it all. All aggression, all the bombs, all that shit, condemn all of it. Now, I wonder if in a yes or no format or whatever, you know, if, you know, that's how war works, unfortunately. That's it. So that's, you know, do you condemn these things? That's how war works. I'd see how that's a not answer. You've picked this side to defend, you know, but you're not outright able to defend it or say which side you picked, really, are you? It's really easy. Just join us on the pacifist side. Just say it's wrong. You can't bomb your way to democracy. It doesn't happen. Like, do you think those kids are ever going to experience democracy now? No, they've been bombed. That's not how. Do you know what I mean? Like, think about it logically. Come on. So do you condemn the bombing of schoolgirls? And the answer was, not if it saves millions of Iranians, but I wish it could have been avoided. Oh, yeah. Oh, how very lovely of you to, you know, just not put no, I don't condemn the death of children. Like you're acting as though they had a, right, okay, can I just, you know that they had a choice, right? They didn't have to throw bombs at that school. Like, that was a choice that they had. They didn't have to throw missiles there. They didn't have to hit the school. Like, it's not this binary thing that you think it is. It's quite an easy like thing to see. It's nuanced, granted, but you know, it's not that complex. Killing people's wrong. Killing school kids is wrong. If it could have been avoided. Like, are you implying that like it couldn't have been avoided? Fucking hell.
to support whatever war of aggression or attack or war crime is happening, you are complicit. You are just as responsible as the person doing the crime. There is no difference. Okay, this is very, very important. And then he has the nerve to say Iran can end this now, and he gets better. I mean, it's so punchable, right? Like, he was already punchable, but this is just like taking the piss, right? And then he says Iran must return to the negotiating table. Oh, well, it just so happens I'm an expert in the Iran nuclear dossier, right? I've covered it for 5 years. And they were at the...
Right, before he gets into the nuclear dossier and everything else, obviously there was nuclear negotiations, but we heard before from Zara Sultana, I'm trying to phrase it in the way that she said it, where congressional members informed either the president or like Congress or whoever that there was no threat from Iran, that Iran's position was that we will not strike anyone unless Israel start attacking us again, because that's their only thing. At the moment, they keep getting pounded by Israel. And what are they? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things where they're like, right, okay, then we're not going to do anything else if they leave us alone. And America went, ooh, we've thought about it and we can't stop them. So we're just going to carry on. We're going to keep funneling weapons over to them so that they can flatten everything in your fucking country. And then, yeah. But my point was, though, that they were at the negotiation tables, and that the last point, it was Iran's position was that we will not attack anybody as long as Israel doesn't attack us.
Negotiating table, which of course you know because you're the prime minister. I mean, how insulting, how utterly insulting, the goddamn nerve to be, to tell someone who's been raped, who's been attacked, who's been assaulted at the fucking negotiating table to just go back to the negotiating table. Why don't you go to hell? How about that? And then, of course, we have the sob stories. Get ready, okay? Oh my God, the Iranians, they almost hit us. Well,
oh my God, I've had to. Oh my God, that is the single most. Do you condemn the deaths of German children who died in World War II? Yes, absolutely, I do. Like, it's not... What? Right, think of any kids in any conflict anywhere. I condemn it. That should save you some time. And yeah, we'll get back to the regular stuff. Can everybody just stop fucking condemning everything for a minute? Will everyone just stop getting shot?
My suggestion, again, this is just a suggestion, is you can maybe just not have UK troops on the other side of the planet. How about that? Right? Not exactly on the other side of the planet, but it's thousands of kilometers away. I mean, I even put together the map to show you, right? Like, it's literally, we got troops in Bahrain, 5,000 kilometers away, right? And this bastard, right? I'm talking about Starmer and also the defense secretary, have the nerve to say, look at this. They say that.
I'm glad it's not just me that stalls when they're bringing things up. It made me feel a bit better. Thanks, Richard.
British forces shot down an Iranian drone in Iraq that was said to be headed for a Western base in the country. Okay? So if you're not involved in the operation, then why are you shooting down drones? So you are involved. Because you started the attack, and now you're acting like, stopping the retaliation is defensive. It's not defensive. If you start the war, the retaliation against that is defensive. So Iran is defending itself. So you're absolutely involved, okay? And then they mentioned that there are UK troops still in Iraq on counter-Islamic State operations. What Islamic State? Do you mean?
They mean ISIS, obviously. They mean the product of the previous forever war within the Middle East. We have very little time left and a lot of things to condemn. That is so true. We have so many things to condemn. All right, let's have a look here. No, I don't want to sign up, Guardian. You keep asking me. So Hezbollah is said to have launched a drone that struck the UK RAF base in Cyprus. Fucking hell. So 2 more drones intercepted on Monday. Authorities saying what appears to be sustained targeting of base. Look at that shit. That's fucking crazy, isn't it? So one-way attack drone. Before anyone asks, I condemn this too. Any of the violence or anything that you're about to hear, or anything that I read, I condemn. I don't agree with violence. I don't agree with war. There you go. So a one-way attack drone said to have been launched by Lebanon's Hezbollah has struck the UK's RAF base, Akrotiri base in Cyprus about midday on Sunday, prompting a partial evacuation of the military facility. 2 more drones were successfully intercepted on Monday morning, the Cypriot authorities said, as part of what appears to be sustained targeting of the base on the 3rd day of the war in the Middle East. It is not yet publicly determined from where the drones were launched, though officials said that one drone was launched before Keir Starmer announced that the UK would allow the US to use its airbase to bomb Iranian missile sites. I mean, you can imagine where they're coming from, can't you? I'm just assuming, I don't know, for example, but with it all sort of being in that sort of region of the world, you could just as easily get some small boats and things like that, like little small aquatic sort of craft that would be a nice little launching pad for like drones and shit like that. It's so like drone warfare and everything else. It's crazy. In 2026 right now, warfare is unbelievable. Who knows where those things are actually physically being launched from? Obviously, we know who's doing it. We know it's Hezbollah and everything else, but it's insane. But that's one of the reasons why I imagine it would be targeted, because the UK will allow the US its airbase to bomb Iranian sites. It was obviously that attack was launched before Keir Starmer announced it, but there's no reason to say that that wasn't a logical thing that was going to happen next. So a Cypriot news agency reported that the damage to the airbase had been caused by small, low-flying drones launched by Lebanese Hezbollah, the Iranian proxy group from the country. But no formal confirmation has been issued by the UK's Ministry of Defence on Monday. Oh, let's go back. Our armed forces are responding to a suspected drone attack at the RAF base in Cyprus at midnight local time. Our force protection in the region is at the highest level, and the base has responded to defend our people. It's starting to escalate, isn't it? This is fucking the violence and the the destruction and the attack on civilians and all over the place. Civilians are getting caught up in this. It's unforgivable, isn't it? Remember, this man wanted Nobel Peace Prizes. He wanted them all. He was trying to collect all of them, like fucking Thanos. Crazy. So the drone struck hours after the UK. The drone struck hours after the UK agreed to let the British military use its base to attack Iranian missile sites, but officials indicate that a possible flight time means that it was launched before the Prime Minister announced a new policy. So they're not 100% too sure where it came from, but yeah, it was struck after it was announced, but it could have been flying for ages. That's another thing about these drones that's so scary, is for relatively cheap, you could get a fully guided attack or a strike from miles out that can be in the air, sustained flight for hours and hours and hours on end, traveling at quite some high speeds. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So these are the Iranian strikes. So far, we've got Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, Cyprus, the UAE, Oman as well has had it, Saudi Arabia. And it's only going to keep getting worse. I don't think this is at any point going to be getting better or going to become easier. So they're targeting sites and bases across the Middle East to try and diminish the influence that America, specifically on Western forces, and America and their allies have in the region. Yeah, though the UK has tried to limit its involvement in the conflict so far, it is considered by Iran to be a close ally of the US.
Yesterday, I spoke to you about the situation in the Gulf and explained that the United Kingdom was not involved in the strikes on Iran. That remains the case. Over the last 2 days, Iran has launched sustained attacks across the region. This is clearly a dangerous situation. Our partners in the Gulf have asked us to do more to defend them. And it is my duty to protect British lives. We have British jets in the air as part of coordinated defensive operations, which have already successfully intercepted Iranian strikes. But the only way to stop the threat is to destroy the missiles at source, in their storage depots, or the launchers which are used to fire the missiles. The United States has requested permission to use British bases for that specific and limited defensive purpose.
And this is why he was saying that we were being uncooperative, wasn't it? Oh, we're not dealing with a Winston Churchill here because Starmer's trying to limit the capacity of which US strikes can be conducted from craft that are going using British air bases to limit our involvement in this. I have to say that's probably that's a good step to be able to distance yourself from it. Although, frankly, I would be saying, listen, we've got enough of our own problems right now. We don't need to be dragged in with America into another forever war in the Middle East. It's cost us all very dearly. The world is still, in large parts of the world, is still feeling the very real effects of the illegal war into Iraq. Why do we need to go into another one in Iran? It's just unbelievable. I keep saying unbelievable. That's a phrase I need to stop saying all the time. Good evening, Shelley. I hope you're well. What else have we got here? 20-pound Iranian design drones have been doing serious damage to 1 billion radar arrays across the Middle East. 100%. This is how war has changed, isn't it? Because unlike the war in Iraq, there's now drones and, even though it doesn't feel like it was that long ago in the decades since Iraq, since the initial invasion there, the war has changed dramatically. The face of it. It's all still the same ugly stuff. However, technologically speaking, it's a different ballgame altogether now. Scary world to be in, isn't it?
We have taken the decision to accept this request. I want to be very clear. We all remember the mistakes of Iraq, and we have learned those lessons. We were not involved in the initial strikes on Iran, and we will not join offensive action now. But Iran is pursuing a scorched earth strategy. So we are supporting the collective self-defense of our allies and our people in the region, because that is our duty to the British people. It is the best way to eliminate the urgent threat and prevent the situation spiraling further. This is the British government protecting British interests and British lives.
And like most of the British people, Salma doesn't want in on it. He's finally read the room. The YouGov poll that we saw before was quite revealing. Not a lot of people actually support this. There's certainly not a lot of strong support for the illegal war into Iran from the UK, and there's no appetite for war for us to get involved in it either, which I'm grateful for. This isn't the same replay as 2001, is it? Which is fantastic for us. Although, obviously, doesn't mean that other people haven't learned from their mistakes, and Donald Trump is destined to repeat history with another illegal war into the Middle East. I just hope that we are as distanced from it as possible. I hope that, it's going to be so bloody. I don't see this de-escalating anytime soon. I don't see anybody capitulating. I was listening to I can't remember who it was exactly, but it was somebody that works within the American government that was talking about Trump to a reporter, and he was saying something along the lines of that, Donald Trump is basically, he's not like overly worried about it. They were saying at the time he's not, focused too much on it, but he doesn't understand, and he's a little confused as to why the Iranians hadn't at that stage already capitulated. Once they'd started with the mass armada that was going to go there. It's clearly Donald Trump doesn't remember what happened in 2001. This isn't the method. It doesn't work. It creates massive instability, and all we're doing is making an unstable region even more dangerous, which puts global security at huge risk. I mean, look at the oil prices and stuff already. The oil, the shares are dropping out of their arse, and the prices are now higher than they've ever been. They're rocketing. That's fair enough. I apologise to my misspeak earlier. Called Chief and Albert, but clearly he isn't. He's a cunt. With a K. With a kicking K. Yeah, this is actually, imagine if it was Boris there. Imagine if we still have Boris and fucking or Rishi or any of those guys. I think it would have been a lot worse in terms of our involvement in it. I'm glad that we're steering well away from that. Just abide by international law, guys. That's all we can do. As much as it's impotent or whatever, it may be more symbolic than it. It may not have a lot of teeth to it, but abide by international law. Anyone who can justify schools being bombs is exactly that. Yeah. Some people are just empty. Like it's okay to do it if it's attacking people you don't like and structures that you don't like and ways of life that you don't like. It's okay, for a little bit. It's like that sort of test, isn't it? Where you say to someone, right, we've got X amount of children, but only X amount of chairs. What do we do? Instead of saying building more chairs, they're like bomb the school, and that way it's not an issue whatsoever. And then we can eventually get to a place where everybody has all the chairs. And it's and like the ends justify the means always. It's okay to do that. It's like, fucking hell. And that's just some people's take on that stuff, isn't it? So this was a link that was dropped into the Discord before. Thank you very much to the Discordian that dropped it in. Let's take a look at this.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal.
I see where this is going. I'm going to start this again, right? This is amazing. I didn't know this video existed. I did a post very similar to what I think this is going to be, which was just listing all of the times that, not just specifically Netanyahu, but that Israel as a state has been saying that they are this close. We have to strike now, and they've been trying to justify it for so long.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
Weeks away. An entire arsenal.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about
6 months. Only 6 months away now.
90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Hello, welcome, good evening.
Oops, accidentally clicked on there, but shout out to Navarra Media. Yeah, like 100%. Cheers for that. I appreciate that link. That was cool. But there you go. From 1995 to now, since I was a baby all the way up to today, they've been saying the same things. It's just not right, is it, anymore? I like the way as well you're going down this false equivalence fucking thing. Like, it's weird, isn't it? What we did to trigger this, for anyone that's watching now that wasn't familiar that could see this comment, what I did to trigger this was just say, like, because obviously you're saying that killing the kids was worth it. Like, what do you, why do I even bother? We're not even going to go down that road. Fucking hell. Like, who's trying to justify the murder of children? Like, I'm not even against Occupy targeting military targets. Like legitimate military targets. Like a school isn't. Like, oh. No, gamer, he's confused. You typed it instead of writing it with crayons. But he will claim he understands it. Lol. And he still isn't answering the question, obviously. But that's just how it goes. That's how the support gears up around this sort of stuff. It is what it is, isn't it? Let me remove them for just a second. I'll just do that. There we are. But yeah, no, it's scary times. Absolutely scary times. Hostilities in the Middle East have entered fucking like 4 days, nearly 5 days now, and the US and Israel are continuing to strike Iran after the supreme leader has been killed. And yeah, who knows what's going on? So I'm just reading now. I'm just having a look at another article. Asked about the safety of hundreds of thousands of UK nationals in the region. Yvette Cooper, the Foreign Secretary, told BBC Radio 4's Today programme on Monday that about 102,000 people of a possible, she put at 300,000, had registered their presence with the UK authorities. And I think that's referring to as in within the Middle East currently at the moment. So that's a hell of a lot of people, and I hope that they all make it home soon, safely. 102,000 British fucking nationals out there. Crazy times. Just having a quick look now through a couple of different links. Let's see what else we got for you. Let's have a look. Oh, we got you guys are still doing this, aren't you? I'm reaching for my Ray-Bans. There's certainly a ray of light. You having fun in the chat there, guys? How's everyone doing? What's everyone else's predictions? Where do we think this is going to go? Another forever war? Or will this be a 4 or 5 week, quick 20-minute adventure in and out? Jobs are good, and democracy will be given to the Iranians, whether they want it or not, in the form of bombs. All right, let's have a jump over to the Telegraph for now. I'm not subscribing to you. There we go. So Macron saying that the strikes against Iran are illegal. Emmanuel Macron has described the US and Israeli strikes against Iran as illegal, setting France on a collision course with Donald Trump. He's already given the whole... did he also say he would cut off all trade with Spain? Because I remember him saying about the UK and Spain and how we were uncooperative.
I'm not happy with the UK either. So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with. This is not the age of Churchill. I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative.
Yeah, but we weren't. We already know that. So, latest updates. Carney warns Trump to respect international law. That's never going to happen. Mark Carney has urged all parties in the Iran conflict to respect international law. Canadia's Prime Minister, speaking in Sydney, said that his country reaffirms that international law binds all belligerents. Reaffirms international law binds all belligerents. He added that we implore all parties, including the United States and Israel, to respect the rules of international engagement. Canada calls for rapid de-escalation of hostilities and is prepared to assist in achieving this goal. See, this I don't, again, trying to launder, you can have your cake and eat it. You don't have to launder this guy's image to be anti-war. I don't understand why that's like a thing that people are doing. Right, let me move myself down there. Sorry, I'm just reading something in the Discord, which reminds me, I'm going to remind everybody that the Discord is there. It is open for anyone to come and join. Let me know in chat. Confirm if you have joined, if you haven't already or whatever. Let me know. The invite is right there. And we'll get a bunch of us together to sort that out. What is that noise? Like a tractor's going past me. Sorry, I'll mute up and come back when it's gone. There you go. Sorry about that. That took a while to pass. They're quite slow, aren't they? Yeah, if you live in Wales and you're streaming from Wales, you're going to hear the odd tractor in the background. I'm going to drop out the link if anyone wants to jump up. There's no pressure to at all. I've pretty much covered everything that I need to about the Iran conflict. I think we're about there, aren't we? I don't know if we are. But that's where we're up to at the moment. Obviously, it's still an ongoing situation, and this is going to be an ongoing situation that's, I don't think it's going to go away for a very long time. So we're going to keep covering it and keep, doing as much as we can. I will be back to talk about this issue shortly, and hopefully Mr. Burke will be with us as well. But we're solo Burking it for now. We're going to be on for just a little bit longer. Just pop the link out, see if anyone wants to jump up. Let me change the background to the original. Where are we? There we go. A couple of Burks. What would Jesus hue? No, if anyone remembers that stream, that was pretty funny. Right, back to that one. Also, as well, I've seen a couple of memes that have just made me laugh like fuck. This being one of them. Matt's next job could be in plumbing. He just doesn't know it yet. Shout out to the person that posted that in the Discord. That is fucking sick. I love it. It's fucking brilliant. We've got, do you know what? I'm gonna put up a few memes as well because we've got a couple of fucking corkers in there. So I need to grab some of them. Let me go into the meme section. Also, as well, sort of keeping in line with the Iran stuff, there was another meme that I had somewhere. Let me think. I've got to load it up. Give me one sec. Let me have this file. Where is it? It's the Shiatola, if anyone knows what that is. Right, okay. So I'll have to get it up this way. But worry not. I'm going to grab it now. Fucking Shiatola. Oh, I love it. Right, and then we save that there. We bring it over here. There's a war on, Michael. No one cares about kids. It's fucking outrageous, isn't it? Some people stand on that. Well, if there's going to be a war, there's going to have to be dead kids. Just accept it. Don't challenge it. Don't be anti-war, because that means that, what's the opposite of that? It's fucking crazy. with a capital Ray. All right, how am I doing this? I've got a media assets. Let me add this. It's worth the wait, I promise. Here we go. I've got it up now. So there is only one clear successor to the Ayatollah, and that is the Shah Ayatollah. Ah, fucking naughty stuff. Right, what has been posted in the back there? I'm going to have to play this now. No, there is not a whole... What? No. When was this done? 11 years ago. Wait, guys, you're not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. What the fuck? I don't know what this is. Let's find out together. Let's hit share screen. What are we looking at here, guys? Why has this been posted?
You're walking in the woods. There's no one around and your phone is dead. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot him. He's following you, about 30 feet back.
What the fuck is this? Oh.
Now it's dark, and you seem to have lost him. But you're hopelessly lost yourself, stranded with a murderer. You creep silently through the underbrush. Aha! In the distance, a small cottage.
I don't know what this is. So yeah, this is a great advert for the Discord. You should join it. It's absolutely mental in there. I don't know what that's about. I thought if the what I thought it was the Ayatollah of rock and roller that had been killed. No, not that one. This is incredible. Do you know what? It looks fucking awesome. I'm gonna have a look at it in a bit later properly. As Chief wants us to go over old wars instead, can we talk about 1066? If Harold had put a bit more effort in, we wouldn't have Nancy MC Nonce face 8th in line for the throne 1,000 years later. Nancy McNonce face. Fucking hell. That's a hell of a way to describe your prince. And do you know what? I've come round now. At first I was like, he's the peer formerly known as Prince. No, he is a prince by blood. Let's not distance him from the royal family just yet. Let's remember the 12 million reasons why we shouldn't distance him from them and why they knew all along exactly what was going on and just chose to try and, 12 million their way out of it. With your money, I might add. Ill-got gains. That is fucking class, though. But no, yeah. What a strange situation. What have you posted in here now that I have to immediately bring up? Right. Gonna bring this up now. Bear with me. Not as quick fingered as all these other streamers. Why the fuck versions feel politically left-leaning? Why are some right-leaning versions? Pedophilia. Oh my fucking god. You're a bad person. You're a bad person. How dare you point that out? How dare you say that shit? Oh god. Well, that was Shia LaBeouf, the musical thing. Shia LaBeouf is coming. I'm pretty sure Trump saw Mad Max 2 and thought that's who the Ayatollah was. I'm pretty sure he did, yeah. I'm sure Trump has absolutely no idea what the fuck is going on most of the time. And he's just like, the shitstorm that he's just created, the Pandora's box that he cannot possibly close. Like, there is no Riviera of the Middle East to be had with Iran. There's no, I don't know what he thinks. Like, best case scenario, they managed to cripple some of the long range stuff. And then what? Full scale, war versus that sort of, terroristic thing that we've seen from Iran. They don't mind propping up some terrorist groups here and there. Never ending war in the Middle East. Right, let's have a gander now. We're going to go through some interesting links here. Has anyone seen? Here's a little bit of hopium for you. a little bit of good stuff that happened recently. Let me just close down some of the tabs. So yeah, we do have some good news stories here. Ta-da! In fact, you know what as well? I've even got a thing for this. You ready? I'm going to present it with all of the grandeur that it absolutely deserves, in none of the timely manner. How can I? Where are my video clips? There they are. All right, you ready?
Almighty God, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors according to law. So help me God.
She did it. She only went and fucking did it. I don't think I've been on since the election results, which we are, by the way, going to be talking about in depth tomorrow. So I'm not going to do too much about it now. But how fucking cool is that? How cool is that shit? So yeah, Matt Godwin. Oh God, it must suck to be Matt Godwin at the moment. Could you imagine? Oh God, he's now saying it's sectarianism and everything else. Yeah, damn it. But I'll leave you on that little bit of hopium. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the Smelly Lefty stream where we're going to be talking about all those dirty, smelly lefties, those soap-dodging fucking socialists that you've been hearing about. We're going to be looking across the left side of the spectrum and seeing who's who, what's been going on, and who we've got to blame for the mess that we're in, all right? We're looking at all of them. None of them are going to be safe from us tomorrow. We'll be putting as much scrutiny and screws to them as we do everyone else. Join us, it'll be absolutely incredible. And then following that, the next day, we're going back to looking at some right-wing content, looking at some streamers. I've got a whole bunch of people planned. Everyone from like smaller, outrageous, crazy streamers like Jupiter all the way up to people like fucking Tommy Robinson and everyone else in between, including the auditors. Don't worry, we've got more auditing corner to come yet. But I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, folks, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Love and peace.